This is a presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome to a very special episode for the Mid-Dell Sports Report right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Happy to bring you this show once again from Buffalo Wild Wings in Dell City. Here at Buffalo Wild Wings, you can support your favorite Mid-Dell basketball team. And why not, since they're all in the state tournament. So they got a lot of momentum right now. But you can come here between now and March 31st. The state tournament will be over with by Saturday, but you can keep coming for another 3 weeks or so and support your favorite Mid-Dell basketball team. Just show up, show them the card that goes with the team. We'll show you those cards throughout this episode, and that team will receive 10% of the benefits. Buffalo Wild Wings, your place for March Madness. Now we're in March, and the madness is really beginning. Thunder basketball, OU men's and women's, OSU men's and women's basketball, and so much more. We love Buffalo Wild Wings. We got a good crowd tonight, by the way. Also, Toonie Buys Houses, we want to thank them. They are led by Channing Chamberlain, a Midwest City grad. They buy homes in any condition. If you or someone you know needs to sell a home for any reason, please call Stay for a cash offer, 405-931-3046. What makes this episode so special is it was an amazing thing to watch in the last week. All 6 Mid-Dell varsity basketball teams made state, and we're scheduled to talk to all 6 varsity head coaches and some of their players as the fun will start tomorrow morning. And we want to cover this thing from top to bottom, and we will, starting with tonight as these teams get ready for their biggest game of the season. And we start with Midwest City girls.
I don't know if that'll give them a favorable matchup or not next week, but it has to be a good feeling that their season will continue. They're not going to worry about a Saturday game.
21 free throws for Midwest City in the fourth period. Deanna Douglas hits the last 2, and it is a 50-40 win for the Midwest City Lady Bombers over the Carl Albert Lady Titans. Jordan's going to make his way down to the court to talk to Coach Megan Knight. The Midwest City Lady Bombers headed to the Class 5A state tournament with a victory over the Carl Albert Lady Titans.
All right, that was Tracy Mussett and myself on the Oklahoma Sports Network Thursday night when Midwest City beat Carl Albert 50-40 in the area championship game at Piedmont High School to punch their ticket to state. And now I get to talk to their head coach and a couple of their players, Coach Megan Knight. Coach, first question I want to ask about is I was really impressed with the crowd, the fans you guys had, especially the students that came. What can you say about that?
We had a great fan base. You know, the students really came out. They supported us. They were loud. They were supportive. Great atmosphere. You know, sometimes it was hard for them to hear me, but it was a great atmosphere. They were great. We're hoping to have the same type of atmosphere tomorrow.
Well, you'll play at an ideal time for that. We'll talk more about that in a few. And of course, they were loud. I mean, they were right behind you. So
yes, they were very loud. Timeouts, you know, they had to really focus in, paying attention to maybe what I was drawing because they may not be able to hear what I was saying.
Yeah.
But you know, I wouldn't have had it any other way. It was great because it just felt like the whole school was with us, and the whole school won that night.
Yes, I could feel it as well. But let's talk about some of the interesting drama in that fourth quarter here, and that was involving the jersey switches, and we're going to talk to Sierra about this in a moment. But that was interesting because you don't see that every game, as there had to be 3 jersey switches during the fourth quarter. And it's kind of funny when you look back at it now, but during the time I know it was very stressful because you didn't want to be without those players. What was that like? Were the refs having to say, hey, she has to come out until she gets New Jersey or something like that?
Yes, and they told her she had to change jerseys because it wasn't coming out. And so we had multiple jersey changes multiple times. with a bloody nose, a leg, a finger, and I don't know if there was anything else. The bloody nose was the big one. I think Sierra got some blood on her that wasn't her blood. I think it was Deanna's for sure. But, you know, we had to change the bench players were so willing to give their jersey up because we had one extra blood jersey. We did not expect to go through 3 or 4.
There were 3, yeah.
Yeah. So
in one quarter.
That's definitely what happened. We had to go through some shorts as well. So we really had to, you know, scrub those jerseys over the weekend so that they're nice and clean and back to normal.
Yeah, so though, like you told me, you'll be wearing black from here on out.
Yes.
Hard to see there.
Thank goodness
yeah.
for black because you can't see the blood as well.
Exactly, yeah. And I could see why it'd be stressful because the game's still in doubt. And, you know, when you could tell when you have your 3-2 zone there without Deanna, Carl Albert got an offensive rebound the very next trip.
Yes.
So
I mean, her size and her ability to go get that rebound, really, you know, we enjoy that, you know, having just the confidence. And we're like, okay, well, Dee's going to go get it. Especially when we're in a zone, it's a lot harder to box out.
Right. And Marquia Pratt looked really good. Now, I didn't see her much in the second quarter. I don't know if she was fouls or was hurting in any way. But that was the only quarter where I thought Carl Albert had a good quarter.
Yes, we didn't perform our best. You know, we let them go on runs. We did a lot of things that shouldn't have happened that were kind of uncharacteristic of us. And so we just kind of got composed at halftime, took a big breath and came out and did what we needed to do. Even though, you know, at the end we didn't make our free throws that we were hoping to make it a bigger gap, but that's okay. A win's a win.
Let's talk to the 2 players we have with us, Sierra Martin and Celia Landon. Sierra, what was that like when you know you had to come out because you had a little bit of blood on your jersey? I mean, and you hightailed it to the locker room and back. I remember. You did not waste any time.
I didn't even notice there was blood on my jersey at first. The ref told me to get off the court, and I didn't know what happened. And then he was like, there's blood all over your jersey, so I just had to switch.
Now, you started the game with a couple made threes, and then you had your inside game going. I mean, were you feeling it early on?
Yeah, I just felt good right when the game started. That's just when our school showed up and the support, and then I think that really brought all of us the energy up, and we all just felt good.
Yeah, so Leah, you made a couple big threes in the fourth quarter. Can you take us through those? That kind of put the distance there where you guys were always protecting a lead that started to feel safe with about 2 minutes to go.
I wasn't making my shots in like the first half, but then when halftime started, I came and I was shooting, and then when I knew the first one went in, I felt confident, and then when I shot the second one, I knew it was going in, so I started running back on defense. Yeah,
well, I got to ask, what was it like playing against your old team? I mean, when I saw you, anytime I saw you and Asha more in the same shot, I'm like, you know, those two came up together. I don't know how long you played together, but you definitely came up in the same class at Crawford High School. So what is that like?
I played with Asha since I was a freshman, so she was like my best friend. And playing against Carl Albert is always fun. It's competitive in the competition, so those are my sisters. So
I'm going to ask you one more Carl Albert question because I thought this was really cool. But this goes back to a few weeks earlier. For your senior night, Coach Banks, the assistant coach at Carl Albert, was allowed to, says a lot about Coach Ritchie as well, come to your senior night and help. And he was part of your family that was escorted on the floor while their team had a game. It wasn't senior night for them, but they did have a game going on at the same time. What can you say about that?
Ever since I was at Carl Albert my freshman and sophomore year, Coach Banks kind of like put me in as his own kid. And we just didn't lose contact after I left because it was never any bad blood with Carl Albert or anything. And so he's basically like my father figure. So
well, I thought that was pretty cool. And Coach, how would you say? I mentioned Marquia a moment ago. How is she health-wise?
And she's doing much better. Has to go through some treatment, and she's still, here and there you'll see a limp, but she's doing much, much better.
All right, but we'll see her in action.
Yes,
sure.
She will be ready to go tomorrow.
Sierra, what's this week been like? Because I think this is your first trip to state, preparing for it. What's it been like?
It's been a rough week practicing.
Yep.
I can't find a lucky day to practice, but it's good. We're really hype. It's really just Midwest City girls versus everyone right now.
Yeah. Celia feels the same way. I mean, you were in it 2 years ago with Carl Albert, but now you're a senior. And for both of you, this will be your final game, just no matter what day it is. I know that has to feel a little surreal, right?
Yes, I'm sad. I'm sad that it's going to be one of these days are going to be my last game of playing high school, but we're ready. Like Sierra said, it's us versus everybody, so we just got to go and show that.
All right, let's go and look at their opponents for tomorrow. That would be the Booker T Lady Hornets. This game will tip off at 6 p.m. or scheduled to. Of course, we'll have the audio broadcast. Here's some more information on Booker T. You're seeing it on the screen. They have a 19-8 record. They finished second in their District 5 and District 3. And they, in the regionals, they actually lost in the regional championship to Will Rogers, but came back and won 3 games in a row, including knocking off Tahlequah. It was the 4th time they played Tahlequah, first time they beat them. So what the saying is, I guess, should be it's hard to beat a team 4 times in a row. And, Coach, what do you think about Booker T? I'm sure you've spent a lot of time thinking about it now.
Absolutely. I was at the game, the area game, to watch that. You know, they were down 22. And just watching, at one point in time, they were down 22, and within 2 to 3 minutes, it was a 4-point ball game, you know, and the girls are watching a film. They know their scouting report. They know what to do. And so they know what Booker T is going to do. We played them last year. We're excited. I think it's a great matchup. I know a lot of people are against us, saying that we're not going to pull it out, but I have full confidence in our team. You know, we're one big team, and I know they're going to play tough, but, you know, I think my girls, I might be a little biased, but we play tough too, and so I'm excited. I think if we show up, we're going to really shock a lot of people around the state, a lot of people that are saying that they can't do it. I'm just really excited for that part.
It had to be nice not playing on Saturday so you can make that trip.
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely.
That was the first for you.
I don't know if I've slept. I told Coach Ritchie this. I don't know if I've slept as hard as I did ever in my life Thursday night. I was relaxed, felt good, and just to be able to, you know, watch our opponents or who I thought we might play the first round of state.
Celia, Sierra, Booker T. What do you know about him? What do you think?
We played them last year again at
the Moore tournament. Championship game.
And it was a really good game. We played hard. We won that game, but we can't focus on that game. We got to focus on tomorrow night's game. But I feel like it's going to be a good game, and we can pull it out.
All right. What do you think, Celia?
I'm ready to play tomorrow. Like you said, I made it to state, but I never got to play at OU, so I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready to play against Booker T because everybody, like Moe said, everybody doubts us and doesn't think we can pull this off. So,
well, just know where the right three-point line is.
Yes, we definitely talked about that today in practice.
Well, I'll be asking about that a lot. Okay, well, the game, of course, will be at 7 o'clock, or 6 o'clock, tomorrow. We will have a audio broadcast, but you'll still see a lot, just not the game. We're not allowed to show you that game now. It's in the state tournament, but it's free, and you can keep up with the score, updated with the score throughout the game with that. And, of course, anytime between now and March 31st, come to Buffalo Wild Wings, and you can support the Midwest City girls basketball team. And let's show you real quick the card you can show them. So that, again, that goes until March 31st, and Midwest City girls basketball will receive 10% of the proceeds. All right, Coach, ladies, good luck. We cannot wait to watch your game.
Thank you. Thank you.
Coming up next, Midwest City boys, right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes.
Call Rob and Will.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
Don't want to foul.
5-point lead now for Midwest City, and Denson hits both free throws.
There's our player of the game, by the way.
12 for 14 from the line. 4 seconds. Morgan for 3. Shot no good. Ball tipped up. And Midwest City comes from behind to win in double overtime. Midwest City is going to the state tournament next week. Wow.
All right, that was, once again, Tracy Musson and myself. This was on Friday night when Midwest City beat Guthrie in double overtime. A thrilling comeback for them as they trailed almost the entire game, never led until the first overtime. And now we get to talk Midwest City basketball with some of their players and their head coach, Tori Noel. Coach, what is it like for you now to experience this as a head coach? Because you experienced this as a player back in 2013 and 2014. What's the reward like doing it as a head coach?
It's a surreal feeling, man. I feel like I'm dreaming every day. But we got a great group of guys. We worked hard all year long, so I think it's very deserving. But as far as how I feel, I can't even really describe it.
That game was so crazy, and I mean, what was it like, the back and forth part, especially at the end of regulation? You know, Guthrie got an open layup on the inbounds pass. Was that like your life flashing before your eyes?
It was stressful for sure.
Yeah.
I've had a situation like that as a player, so when he missed that, I don't even know. But I know we had another chance, so we had to get it done.
And then in overtime, and you had 3 or 4 players who fouled out in by the second overtime. I know it was at least 3.
4, I believe.
Yeah, 4.
I think we ended up with 5 that fouled out. But,
yeah.
And then Deshaun and Roy had 4 fouls.
And I thought the big momentum, or when the momentum started to switch in that overtime, was that technical on Guthrie.
Yeah, that was huge. That was huge. And we made free throws well, man. We shot the ball well for free throw line, so that kind of helped us get over the little hump.
And it had to be also not exciting but relieving that you didn't have to worry about the next day, because that had to be mentally and physically fatiguing.
Even coming into that game, I didn't want to see Del City again.
Oh, yeah.
So we had to take care of business.
Well, you'll love to see him on Saturday, but not last Saturday. That's the big difference there. All right, and so what was something a couple things that maybe didn't go as well for you during the game that you think you guys can fix for your game tomorrow?
Man, just executing. It was going to be loud in the gym, exciting. And we didn't execute really well going into the Guthrie game, but we made plays down the stretch and we kept fighting. So,
well, let's bring in the player of the game and then also another key player to Midwest City's comeback. So we got Deshaun Denson and Caleb Stevens. Deshaun, I mean, how happy were you not to play the next day? Because, I mean, you put in, it felt like a game and a half's work plus for you.
It was big. Just double overtime game. playing the majority of the game.
Yeah, you barely went out.
Yeah, just understanding, what was at stake, and that if we had played Saturday, odds weren't in our favor, especially after a game like that. So it was big for us, for sure.
And when I thought what was good for you was when the team, like Coach said, maybe not been executing as well as they should be, but you were moving well without the ball. You cut to the basket and were finished with your left hand a couple of times. Did that get your jump shot going?
Yeah, for sure. My first couple shots weren't on target. So I just started being aggressive, getting to the rim, and that worked out in my favor. And then that led to the three ball opening up for sure.
Yeah. Caleb, I haven't had a chance to talk to you yet this season. And you are a sophomore, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. For a lot of games, you come in for a few minutes and you go out. You're relieving some of the upperclassmen. And what was it like when Coach Noel called your number when I think it was the second time a player fouled out? It's hard to keep track. It was maybe Mason, someone like that, or Jarvis. And you knew at that point you're probably going to stay in for a while. Were you feeling any nerves now because you're playing crunch time? I don't know if it's the first time you played crunch time minutes, but it had to be one of them, right?
Uh-huh.
So what was that feeling like?
I really wasn't that nervous because I knew my coaches and my teammates trusted me. And I just knew play how I practice, and I practiced very hard. So.
When did you feel like you guys could win this game?
Really after halftime when we came back.
Yeah.
And then Coach said, no pain, no middle, what you work on in practice, and then we just went from there.
And I always ask a player this who's like new to being interviewed, how would you describe your role, and how do you feel like that you performed on Friday, this past Friday, doing your role?
I'll describe my role as coming in, making an impact on defense, try to rebound, and then knock down an open shot or attack to get my teammates open. And then, yeah, that's really it.
So, I mean, there are 2 or 3 seniors on this team. We want, obviously, all the focus will be on tomorrow and maybe the next day, but does this season, how rewarding has it been? Do you feel like, you're looking forward to working in the off season and ready to make a really big impact next year?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Coach, what gave you confidence to go with Caleb down the stretch when you had to turn to someone because players weren't fouling out?
Man, we're deep, man. We could play 8 to 9 a game, just depending on who's going. And when I called Caleb's number in the first quarter, he came in and scored a layup, got a steal, scored a layup, and then got an in one.
Yeah.
Made a free throw, and I knew he was locked in, so I had no doubt when I put him back in the game to finish it.
All right, so Caleb, if you don't mind, we've got one more Midwest City player here. They're going to switch, if you don't mind, switching headsets with them. While we do that, let's go ahead and talk about Midwest City's next opponent. Their opponent for tomorrow is the Collinsville Cardinals. We got it as a Thursday 1:30 tip-off. Head coach for them, Todd Anderson. They went 21-5, finished second in District 3. They won the Memorial Tournament. I believe that's up in Tulsa. Finished second in the Tulsa Rogers Tournament. They won the area consolation on Saturday, being Sepulpa by only 3, 72-69 after losing to Holland Hall the night before. They last made state in 2022 when they lost the first round to Carl Albert. That was the game before Midwest City's last state game. All right, Coach, Collinsville, all I know about them is they got a couple of tall players. I don't know how good they are, but you've seen them now. What do you think?
They're solid, man. They're long, and they got some solid point guard. They got a 6'9" that's a good passer.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to come out and do a good job of executing and kind of putting the pressure on them defensively to make them play fast.
All right, Deshaun, what do you think about the Cardinals?
It's a solid team. They got a big kid, like 6'9". He's solid. But if we just do what we do, we should come out the bigger.
All right, we're joined for the first time this season by Mark Jackson. Mark, great to have you on. I'm going to turn you up here. Okay. I don't know if you enjoy growing up watching the NBA Finals with Mark Jackson calling the games, but Mama, there goes that man, stuff like that. But
you don't know Mark Jackson.
Was it fun to share a name with him?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Some people say that about me sometimes, like, oh, it's something about Mark Jackson. I'm like, that's just my name, bro. That's funny, though.
I never thought about that, to be honest.
Yeah. Well,
that's crazy. Just now. That's kind of dope.
You can always say Mark Jackson's a playground legend from New York City. and then had a long NBA career. I think when he retired, he was second in the all-time in assists or something like that.
Nice.
So
Mark don't pass, he shoots.
Yeah. Exactly. This is the new version. This is Mark Jackson 2.0. 2.5. All right, and Mark, you were at Edmond Santa Fe last year?
Yes, sir.
All right, what was it like switching? I mean, was it very different practices and stuff? The games, the team. I know. I mean, you didn't have as many tough games because it's 5A, but now they're getting tough, obviously. So what's it been like your first year at Midwest City High School?
I definitely say the practices are different. It's like a little harder, different energy since I was from Midwest City. And in Edmond, it was definitely like way different. I didn't know nobody or nothing, so the practices and the games, they're all different energy. But it was definitely tough, and I definitely learned a lot there. And I definitely enjoyed my time, but I love being a Bomber.
Yeah, and every time I see you, I mean, sometimes watch you play, sometimes you're in the starting lineup, sometimes you're not. Just depends on what's going on with the rest of the team. But it feels like you really embrace your role. You hit that corner three with a lot of consistency. I know that's big for not only you but your teammates. Same question. I asked Caleb, how would you define your role?
I said like I'm a glue guy. I just always like stay the same and just keep everybody together and just play my role and go out there and do what's needed.
And Coach, same question I asked about Caleb. So you decided to start him, start Mark, I believe, making a change, I believe, from the weekend before against Guthrie. And then, again, someone fouls out. He was your first sub, I think, off the bench when a player fouled out. What gives you confidence in him?
I have confidence in all my guys. So just how we feel or what's going on with the team, there's no doubt in my mind. I got 8 people that I think that can start. So whatever happens, if this is a lineup, that's what we're going with. Be ready to go. And Mark does a good job when his roles has changed and come out there and being the guy that we need him to be.
Now, didn't you hit a 3 in the first overtime?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I mean, that has to be nice, though, that you can bring in a player who's fresh.
Oh, yeah.
And Roy was fresh when you brought him in, and he had the big 3 in the second overtime. So, Mark, what about Collinsville? I mean, you can't think about anyone else. It's all about them right now. You can't assume people are going to want to see a Carl Albert matchup on Friday, but you got to take care of business tomorrow. So, what can you say about the Cardinals?
I said the Cardinals are a pretty good team. They play together, like they keep saying. They got the big guy, and I think they got a couple good guards. But I feel like if we play our game and just do what we need to do, we could get the job done.
All right, what do you guys think about a 1:30 tip-off? They're having the boys play first, but you guys don't have to play that early, but it's still different.
It's different. It's interesting, because we're 5A now, and even then when I was playing in high school, our game was always the later games. But, man, it's basketball, man. We just got to adjust to it and come out there and play basketball.
What do you guys think about it? I mean, you get to leave school early.
Oh, they excited about
that. Yeah. I don't think anything's going to be going on at school tomorrow with the girls in action as well. But, all right, well, guys, what's the anticipation been like? From Friday night on, you have to be thinking about this. This has to be what you dream about. What things you dream about.
I'm surprised, to be honest, that we're here. I mean, I'm not surprised we're here, but, like, it's crazy that I'm in position, you know what I mean, to lead these guys. And like I said, they've been doing an unbelievable job this year. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but, man, like, I think it's well worth it. So we're excited.
All right, you guys feel like, again, you can beat anyone in that field and anyone can beat you. So it just depends on how the ball rolls. And, hopefully you keep your guys out of foul trouble tomorrow night.
Oh, man, that can't happen again. If it does, then I don't even know. We might have to drive down the street and have a talk. We always say.
That's more and more of a challenge, I feel like, is managing fouls, because, I don't know, it just feels like that it just becomes a factor a lot. Let's put it that way.
For sure, man. We're deep, though, man. So
yeah, you are.
We'll be ready, man. So that's the good thing with this group, man, is whoever number is called, they're going to come in, they're going to be ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. All right, tomorrow's game for Midwest City Boys is a 1:30 tip-off. Again, we will have the game for you. You can see the broadcast, just won't see the action. We'll describe it for you, Josh Calloway and myself. We'll have the score, the quarter, the clock, and hopefully we can present a good game. It's free, of course. It's on the Oklahoma Sports Network tomorrow, and whenever the season ends for Midwest City Boys, the fundraiser will continue until March 31st. Let's show the card one more time. go there. Go to this Buffalo Wild Wings location anytime between now and March 31st and show them this picture. New City Boys Basketball will get 10% of the proceeds. All right, Coach, guys, thank you very much. Good luck tomorrow. We want to see you guys at your best. Appreciate you coming by. All right, Del City Girls Basketball coming up on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Red Plains Plumbing has been offering reliable commercial and residential services to the OKC metro area for over a decade. From new construction and remodeling to residential repair, they can handle jobs of all sizes. When you need a trusted name in plumbing, it's Red Plains Plumbing. Family owned and operated. Phone 405-769-1922. That's 405-769-1922.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
Six and a half seconds left to play in the ball game. This Rose State College fourth period. Rose State College reminding you that saving money on college is easy. Concurrent enrollment allows students to earn up to 27 tuition-free hours of college credit while still in high school. Apply today at rose.edu/concurrent. Shot put up at the buzzer by Rice is no good, and the Del City Lady Eagles are headed to the state tournament. They are the third team from the Mid-Del School District now to punch their ticket to the state tournament, and the other three are still alive. 53-39. The final score.
All right, welcome back to the Mid-Del Sports Report. That was, once again, as we'll say most of the time, Tracy Mossett and myself calling the Del City girls beating Shawnee 53-39, Saturday to punch their ticket to state. First time they made state since 2020. And now I get to talk to their coach, Mariah White. Coach, I was so impressed with how your team responded since the Carl Albert loss. I mean, just in every game, they build and they build and they build, and your players were playing smart basketball for the most part, staying out of foul trouble. As it was a big deal, like during the Carl Albert game, and that Shawnee win. You know, again, you guys finished third, they finished third, so that was a team that's on par with you. You got to be at least one of those teams to get to state. And I thought that may have been your best performance of the season. And how you see it?
Pretty much the same. We think that's our best defensive game that we've had all year. It wasn't as much surprising because we know what to expect out of our girls and they know what to expect out of themselves. But we think that was the first game where we keyed in, locked in, and followed the scout to the T. And it showed, we were able to make them run around. We didn't give up too many threes until the end. But, we had a great defensive game, and that's our identity. That's what we stand on.
And, when you saw Shawnee get pounded by El Reno, and we're going to talk about them in a few, 2 nights earlier, what was the feeling like? Was like, okay, we see the vulnerabilities here, or were you expecting them to really respond with a lot of resilience, or what was your impressions of them before the game?
Honestly, we did watch that game, but everything that happened in that game, we waited until after our game to dive into it. So we seen it, and our message to our girls was stay focused.
Yeah.
Stay focused. But then going back and watching film on Shawnee, I told the girls, Shawnee is a good team, and they didn't have a bad first half. They hit a bunch of shots in that first half. El Reno just played great. So our message was like you said, expect to bounce back. They're going to come back. They're hungry. They're led by seniors, so we expected them to come back and have a dogfight that next game.
I think it's such a difference maker when Shelby is not playing with foul trouble, and that was the case. Shawnee, I don't know. I assume it was the case against Guthrie. I didn't see all that the second Guthrie game. After that was a bit of a problem against Carl Albert. So to talk about that, because a lot of other teams we're talking to, they had at one point they had to deal with someone being in foul trouble, someone important.
Like you said, when Shelby is on the court, we're a much better team. So she wasn't in foul trouble, and all of our girls, we know our first Guthrie game, we had 3 girls foul out. But this game against Shawnee, we did a better job of getting our hands up, moving our feet, and so everybody was able to stay on the court, and we were able to keep our better girls playing.
I know when you lost to Carl Albert by a basket and you have to play an extra game because of the new rules, the new format, it's not a moral victory, but did you feel like, hey, we let one slip away, but we may have been the better team that game? And what was the message to your players after that?
Same, just exactly what you just said. We had it. Let's learn from it. Thankfully, we get another chance, and our race is not over. So let's go learn from this. Let's get back in the gym, get to work, and let's not let it happen again. Because, like you said, we foul trouble was a big part of that game. But that's just us playing smart. So as long as we're playing smart basketball, I think we come away with some of those close games.
And Sasha Hunt, she's always the one winning player of the game for a reason, and she plays the whole game, and she's like the conductor or the she's the one that's in control. And I'm just amazed how comfortable she is because she's the shortest player on the court. But no, I've never seen her be fazed by any defense.
That's Sasha. When you play a lot of basketball, it's hard to be fazed by anything. So she plays a bunch. We practice, but during the off season, she's playing. She's going to the gym. She's playing in AAU tournaments. She's going to practices, and so she's playing with guys. You know what I mean? She's playing with people taller than her, bigger than her, faster than her. So there's not much that she hasn't seen. And so whatever is thrown at her, most likely she's seen it before, and all she has to do is sit back and then adapt to it.
And I like how Courtney McCarroll plays lately. I feel like she doesn't try to force much. Like she's fine with Sasha and then Raina when she comes off the bench getting their shots, and Shelby, of course, and she just picks her spots where she can, drive hard to the left and get fouled or whatever. That's a big part of her game. But what can you say to that about how composed she's been?
Courtney is the ultimate team player. She can drive and pick her spots.
Yeah.
But she does not care about scoring. She doesn't need to be the leading scorer. So if she takes 4 shots and we win, she's okay with that. If she takes 10 and we win, she's also okay with that. And so I think she's just been really good and has gotten better as the year has gone on about taking what's been given to her. She, like you just said, we know when we see Courtney with a drive, we want her to take it every single time. Sometimes she doesn't take it enough, but that's been her. Like she said, that's been her sweet spot this season.
And we say the same, kind of similar about Raina. She embraces coming off the bench.
Yep, she doesn't mind it. She doesn't have an attitude. When the tip off, when the ball jumps off, Raina is right there. She's tuned in. She's ready to go because she knows it's only a matter of time before her name is called and it's time for her to go. She's just watching, seeing, okay, got it. Sitting back, okay, now go in and do what we need you to do.
So 2 more players that their minutes seem to be increasing lately. Mackenzie Smithers, who's been starting for you. Only a sophomore, but I see the offensive game in her that's not too far behind Sasha, Courtney, and Raina, and then also Janerica Thompson. You've been going to her more off the bench, and she's a freshman.
And she's a freshman, right?
Yeah. What have those 2 been able to do well for you to earn your trust?
Mackenzie Smithers first. She is a basketball player, and when I say that, she can make plays. She can shoot, she can drive, she can make the pass, and so whatever position she's in, she knows how to make the best out of that position. She can go play a 4, or she can go help bring the ball up. Like when she played JV for majority of the season, she played R1. So she's familiar with playing the ball and distributing the ball. And then Janerica Thompson, when you need some length and you need some energy, that's the one I go to usually just because she is she's all over the place, which is a good thing for us because sometimes we need that.
And what does this mean to you? Because I know this has been 4 years since you made state, and you didn't get a chance to play like a lot of course, because of COVID that year. Mm-hmm. And you had a lean year in 6A, and then you had teams that looked like they were on the brink of playing for state, but they come up short. Mm-hmm. And now this is the team that goes all the way. And I could tell, watching you at the end of the game, this was I don't know, a relief, or what you say? What was the emotion like?
It was a good feeling to see things come to pass. That was our message last year when we lost to Lawton Mac. That was our message in the locker room. There's no reason we shouldn't be going to the state tournament next year. And everybody bought in. And, we started the season. We didn't have everybody, but everybody stayed the course. Everybody kept coming in, kept working, and that was our goal this year, is to get to state. And so when we did that, it was just like, now we're starting to see the fruits of our labor. And so now I think that, that helps them buy in just a little bit more. It's like, okay, Coach said we could do it. Now we did it. Now let's see what else we can do.
All right, let's look at Del City's opponent tomorrow, and that is the El Reno Indians, led by their head coach, Jennifer Douglas. That's actually who Del City beat to get to state 4 years ago. This year, they have been dominant, 25-0, only undefeated team in 5A, girls or boys. Obviously, they won their district. They won their tournaments, which include the Hara, Anadarko, and Shawnee tournament. In Shawnee tournament, they beat Coweta, who's also made state girls. And look at that score, 79-23. They beat Yukon, who was, I think, finished second in their 6A region by 19. They had to get to this point, they had a first-round bye because of a forfeiture, and they beat Guyman by 40, and they beat Shawnee by 35. So they've only played 2 playoff games, and you girls have had to play 5. But were you surprised to see you're lined up? I guess they're doing things differently this year. So now you're playing against a West Side team. It's not automatically East versus West.
Right. I wasn't surprised. I knew where we would come in just because of our record, not so much of our play. So I knew exactly where we would come in. It was a matter of us getting El Reno or getting, whether it be Midwest City or I think Sapulpa got that 3rd seed. But I knew where we would come in, and I knew everyone would go and rank El Reno number 1. So I wasn't surprised. We've played El Reno many of times. This is the first year that we hadn't played them, so it's only right that we do play them just to keep that streak going. So, I always enjoy playing El Reno. Like I said, they know how to win, 25-0. That's hard. It's hard to win, and you take wins as they come. And with them winning 25, we know the task ahead of us, but, I think we're prepared.
Well, what impressed you most about them? I mean, you saw them beat Shawnee, and I'm sure you watched more and more film on them.
Yeah, they play really unselfish basketball. They know how to move the ball. They know they hit open shots. They get up and down in transition. And I think that's what's most impressive is they don't have one player who's trying to do everything. Like a few years ago, I know they had Ashlyn, and
I remember her.
She can go off for 20, 30, 40 points. But right now it's so spread out, you don't know who's going to have the game. So I think that's really impressive just to have 5 or 6 girls, who can give you 10 points, 10, 12 points any given night.
Okay, well, this will be the last of the Mid-Del games, basketball games we show you tomorrow. When I say show, you won't see the video of the game. We're not allowed to, but we will have the score update, and we will be talking about the game, Josh Calloway and myself, calling the game, and the score will include the quarter and clock, and we'll try to update you with as much stuff as we can. 7:30 p.m. tip-off, Del City and El Reno. And also want to remind you that the Del City Girls Basketball Fundraiser also goes until March 31st, so you can see that card. Please come by this Buffalo Wild Wings location. Tell me you want to support Del City Girls Basketball. If you can show them this picture, that'd be great. If you need help downloading it, just let us know. And Del City Girls Basketball will receive 10% of the proceeds. Coach, congratulations again. I didn't get a chance to interview you after the game, so I wanted to say that. And
Thank you.
Can't wait for your game.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
Carl Albert girls are coming up next on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
When it comes to your home, you need someone that you can trust to keep it safe and protected for you and your family.
Vesta Foundation Solutions is your local, family-owned company that has helped many homeowners fix and protect their homes.
Our engineered solutions can take care of all of your foundation repair, basement waterproofing, concrete leveling, and dirt crawl space repair needs.
We take pride in getting the job done right, and you'll always be protected with up to a 75-year warranty.
Contact us today for a free estimate.
I want to start a car mechanic shop.
Let's say we go to Scissor Tip.
Ready to go get some coffee?
Yeah, let's go.
You got it.
I think she was from
1,
Rose State.
2, 3.
Woo-hoo!
Congratulations, Rose State college graduates.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
Nolan to Norfleet. She puts up a shot, and it doesn't fall. And at the end of 4, score 50-27.
Congratulations to the Carl Albert Lady Titans as they were able to score more than us and win.
Yeah, I got to congratulate the Titans, Lady Titans, as they had a great season, and they're going to continue on, go to the state tournament.
Yep. And welcome back to the Oklahoma Sports Network. Now we get to talk Carl Albert girls basketball. What you just saw a moment ago, that was actually Levi Tovar from the Altus OSN crew, and they let me join him on the broadcast in the second half as Carl Albert beat Altus to make another trip to state, 4th time in a row, and we thank them for letting us all tag along and showing that game. All right, and now we get to be talking to the Carl Albert team, led by Coach Ritchie and some of their seniors. Coach, it was a very dominant second half against Altus. What were you most proud of as far as, because the second quarter Altus caught up, made it a close game, and you guys put them away in that second half. What were you most proud of?
You know, in the second quarter, I thought we got some good looks. We just didn't make any, you know, and, you know, that happens. At halftime, there was no screaming, there was no yelling. They knew what was at stake. We're walking out to start the third quarter, and Asha, you know, when you have a senior leader like this, she walked out and she goes, I didn't play my senior year to lose and not go back to the state tournament for a 4th year in a row. She goes, we got this, kind of calm, cool, collected, and we went out and hit him in the mouth the first 4 minutes, and I thought we kind of took over from there.
And we'll talk about players not here, but Audrey Plunkett, I didn't see a lot from her on Thursday against Midwest City, so I was wondering if that was one of those situations where she maybe challenged herself or a coach challenged her, I don't know, to show up. She was so dominant in that second half. It was just constant. And, of course, you utilize her by putting her on top of that 1-3-1 defense. And just a lot of steals and scores from her. What can you say about how dominant she was in that game?
I mean, you beat me to it on the top of the 1-3-1 with those long arms, deflections, steals, you know, and it's just like anything else. She didn't have a great first half. It wasn't bad. It's just like, Coach, I'm right there. I just got to finish. I go, it's just like you make one and you see the ball go in the hole, and that can just start that snowball effect. Then there's 2, then there's 3, and then everybody else feeds off of her as well. It becomes contagious.
Yeah, for sure. And, of course, you were able to extend that lead without Skylar. I was maybe around the halftime where you decide, okay, she can't go in the second half. How's she doing?
We'll see tomorrow.
We'll see tomorrow, okay. When I heard about that, I was like, I hope whatever she has isn't contagious. But it looks like that's fine. Let's talk to some of the players with us here. So 2 of their seniors, they are not related, but they are not physically related, but maybe in other ways they are. They're Asha Moore and Lainey Moore. Asha, so you're now used to this, getting to state. Does it feel any different preparing now, knowing that this is your last go-around?
No, it was honestly really boring in practice, especially today because it was like a review day because, when you've been there, you kind of crave going back. Like it's so different. It's exhilarating, and, I just can't wait to see how our team competes tomorrow.
Lainey, your second time through with State, and in your role, I feel like you've expanded your role since then. Same question, I guess. How does it feel like preparing for State this time around after your experience last year?
I mean, it's definitely the same. We're just getting prepared and just ready to face the pulpit tomorrow.
And what's been really satisfying for you, Lainey, this season? We've already talked some about it, what your emotions were going to be like for senior night a few weeks ago, but now you've had these intense playoff games. What's the emotions been like since then?
It's definitely just different, but I feel like as a team, we're all ready. We come to the game prepared every day. We come to practice prepared every day, and we're just ready to face on the next challenge.
Coach, let's go back to the Midwest City game. After that loss, what's the mood like? Obviously, because you went through it 3 years ago when you lost to Lawton MacArthur.
Came back and beat Ardmore.
Yeah, you came back and beat Ardmore. So, was it even a little challenging to bring him back to this, or were you even worried?
Everybody's worried. It's one game to go. Anything can happen on a Saturday afternoon. But after the game, that's a dang good team we lost to.
Yeah.
If we both win, we'll see them again on Friday. Obviously, we both have to take care of business on Thursday. There was no tantrums. There was no fits. It was we're going to stay in scout till half. All the girls that rode the bus home turned on the OSN thing. We watched it. I was driving. My assistants were keeping me updated on that overtime Guyman-Altus game.
Yeah, quite a game.
And when it was Altus, we didn't have to scout as much because we'd already played them twice. Guyman would have been something different that we probably would have had to throw something quickly together. But I told the girls after that game, it's really about us. If we go out and do what we're supposed to, I think that we'll be fine. And like I said, Shelby has been here. She's been there. Even the 4 softs had been there last year. Now, obviously, it was in a winner's bracket, so they didn't have to play that little bit more pressure-packed game to lose or go home. But I actually thought we were fine.
Yeah, when you were. Oshawa was easy to shake the loss off, or do you want to let it bother you some? What's a good mentality to have?
Going into the game, we knew that they're a crosstown rival, and we knew that it was going to be a tough game. And I feel like, we were right there, and I feel like they capitalized a little bit more than we did. But like Coach Ritchie said, you can't dwell because you'd rather lose and get in than lose back-to-back and be like, dang, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. So.
Right, yeah, you avoided the Shawnee's fate. Lainey, what about you? Was that an easy loss to shake off?
It's definitely hard just losing to a district, like a team that is in our city, but I definitely feel like we went into the locker room upset, but we just left all the feelings there, and we came out a new team, and we never blamed each other or anything like that.
Very good. All right, we're going to talk about their opponent tomorrow. While it happens, Lainey, if you don't mind making a switch here with Shelby. Okay, so here's what we got for Carl Albert Lady Titans tomorrow. They're going to play the Sapulpa Chieftains, and this is a team that has been the dominant 5A team in the last few years. They've won 2 out of 3 state titles. We are looking forward to this. I think we have the wrong tip-off time. It should say 4:30.
4:30.
Yeah. Lack of an edit on my part, but more on Sapulpa here. 21-6 record, really good. They finished first in their district. We have that incorrect, at least if I'm looking at the right thing there. But competed well in the Tournament of Champions, and in the regionals, beat Claremore, Holland Hall, and then maybe a bit of a surprise, but not that much of a surprise that they lost in the area championship game. I was a bit surprised, but, Will Rogers is tough, and they already lost to Will Rogers once before. And then they rebounded from that loss on Thursday night to turn around and beat Grove. And, again, they've won 2 of the last 3 5A state titles. And, Coach, in previous years this would not be the matchup because both you and them play on Saturday, and so you would have been matched up against a team that won an area championship. What do you think about the reseeding of this? It probably doesn't matter too much to you because you're going to have a tough game no matter what.
Right. just some things, like you said, this wouldn't be a normal matchup. You used to have the top seed from the East, lowest seed from the West, and, vice versa. If you were a Thursday winner, you're at least a 1 through 4 seed.
Yep.
If you were a Saturday, you're a 5 through 8. So, this is the first year of districts, first year of what I call the reseeding process.
And you mentioned being a part of that, right, at Sunday afternoon?
Yes. We had to have it in by noon. And then, you went to the OSSAA building at 2. They handed out how many points, everybody got, and it showed why the seedings are where it's at. It is what it is. Not complaining. We came in through the back door, so we figured we'd be a 5 through 8. Del City is as good a considered 8 seed as there has to be around. Booker T is a 7. I mean, Jiminy Christmas. This is probably the best. This is probably the best 1 through 8 seeding that there's been.
And what about Sapulpa? What do you watch some film on them? I mean,
no, absolutely. Yeah. Darlene does a great job with Sapulpa. Obviously, you just said 2 of the last 3 champions. Very, very solid. They don't beat themselves. We're going to have to go out, execute, do the you can't the scouting report. You can't have the lapses and go, oh, I forgot she did this or I forgot she did that. And so we had a great film session today, and I felt that they were locked in. They've been locked in all week. Honestly, I'm going to go back. They've been locked in since regionals area. Just because we lost doesn't mean that we weren't focused and, ready to go. Just didn't make as many plays as Midwest City did down at the end. But we're ready. I told them they were ready at the end of practice today. And now it's going to be a 32-minute battle.
Yep.
But I think we're ready.
Asha, what do you think of the Chieftains?
If you make it to the state tournament, you're obviously good enough to be there. I know that they've been really dominant, like you said, in 5A, but, no matter, and I'm not downplaying them or their record or their past achievements, but it's all about who shows up. Just like OU, they lost a couple days ago. The better team showed up. You know what I'm saying?
You mean softball, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Long winning streak snap, yeah.
Yeah, that sucks, but it's just about who shows up. Like I said, I keep repeating that, but it's about who shows up.
Yeah, it is that simple. All right, Shelby, sorry we just got you in here, but what was same question for you? What was your preparation like going from the Midwest City game to the do or die Altus game? Sorry, there you go.
I think we knew what was on the line.
Yeah.
And we came in with the same mindset that we come in every game, but at the end of the day, it was a do or die, so we knew what we had to do. We took care of business.
And what's been most exciting for you during these playoffs? I mean, you play 2 school district rivals, Del City, Midwest City, and then, you got 3 really tough games the last 3 games. So what's been the most rewarding thing for you about this journey?
I like the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The atmosphere makes everything so much more fun. That's why I love playoffs so much.
For sure. Can you ladies believe this is going to be it for you?
Yes.
Has that sunk in?
Yeah.
It has. I just think because I try to stay where my feet are and live in the moment, but at the same time, it's been a long, grueling 4 years. The season is so long, and it's really tough on our bodies, but I'm excited to see where all our hard work ends up in the state tournament, and if we lose, we lose. If we win, we win. But I'm just grateful to be able to have suited up for 4 years.
And I'm going to point out something. I brought it up to these 2 the other day, and I said I would look it up at some point in time when I have a little bit more time. These girls have been to 8 state tournaments, 4 in softball, 4 in basketball. I don't know any other program around that. Somebody said, "Well, I've been 4 basketball." Well, you've been to 4 softball as well. That's quite an accomplishment for these 2. And, they easily could have said, Coach Ritchie, we've got our softball scholarships, and we've enjoyed playing for you, but we're going to move on. And they didn't. And the leaders they have been on the court, off the court, because I can say things, but when they say things, hey, it's okay. Or you know what? There's times there could be a little pick-me-up from them, and I'm going to use it like that. And when it comes from your peers, man, these two have done a heck of a job.
All right, well, we get to watch their final games here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Obviously, again, the video will not be of the game itself, but we will have the score, quarter, and how much time is remaining. And we'll Josh Callaway and I will talk about this game against a 4:30 p.m. tip-off. Carl Albert against Sapulpa tomorrow. And again, until March 31st, you can come to the Buffalo Wild Wings in Del City and support the Carl Albert girls basketball team. Just show them a picture of this card. There we go. And if you need help downloading it, let us know. Carl Albert girls basketball will receive 10% of the proceeds. But we can't wait for their game tomorrow. Coach, ladies, thank you very much.
How cool is it that six?
Oh, my God.
I mean, I don't know any other district can say that.
So. And they're all here. All the head coaches are here.
Absolutely.
That is so exciting for me. I can't believe I'm getting to do this. So thank you very much, Coach.
Hey, thanks for everything.
All right, Del City boys coming up.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes.
Call Rob and Will.
There's a three by Nate Benford. And time runs out on the Guthrie Blue Jays. The final score, 58-49. The Del City Eagles punch their ticket to the state tournament. 58-49, the final in this one.
All right, once again, that was, you know who, Tracy Mawson and myself calling the game on the Oklahoma Sports Network as Del City defeated Guthrie 57-49 to make it to state for the 8th straight year. And I'm happy to be joined by their head coach, Lenny Hatchett. And, Coach, you know, since the loss to Crossings, I've seen the next 3 games, and I was really impressed with how your defense at the very beginning was just so disruptive in forcing turnovers, and just you're throwing the first few punches in those games. And was that something that came from the Crossings game, or that's something you've always wanted to do?
I mean, I think that's something that we've always wanted to do and kind of start the games. And we did it in some phases against Crossings, but we had some miscues against Crossings. And I think after our guys watched the film against Crossings, they saw that they could have played better.
Yeah.
And which is good, especially when you get a chance to still be alive and play in the state tournament and have to draw in first round. Our guys just kind of, they know that's what we expect and how they play. That's how we practice, and hopefully it can transition into a game.
Now, what can happen in those situations is your opponent will start to adjust. You're not going to. They'll get a little bit more used to the speed of your defense, more used to the pressure, and your defense is still good, but you're not maybe getting as many steals and scores. And so when that happens, do you change up your defense at all, or what's the thought process there?
The thought process is that we always want to make sure we're pressuring the ball and helping where we need to help. And just not making any shots uncontested. We don't like to give uncontested threes and uncontested layups. And if we can do those things and make it tough on opponents to shoot the basketball, then we're doing our job. And that's one of the most important things, I think, on defense.
And when you watched the Guthrie Midwest State game, I asked you about this after the game, but, what was that like, seeing that battle there? Did that you're going to have the same game plan no matter what against whoever lost that game. But, what was that like, seeing that, how mentally fatiguing that might have been for whoever lost, that being Guthrie?
It was an unbelievable game, exciting for both players, for both teams. I thought both coaches did a heck of a job. When that game was over, I was – you're kind of in awe after watching the game and on how it finished, especially from the regulation all the way to the double overtime. But – when the next day that you're going to play an opponent that lost in double overtime and probably knew that they should have won it in regulation, that sets some mental things on those kids. And I felt that if our guys went out and we stuck with our game plan, whoever we had to play, and played fast and just tried to do the things right at the beginning, I thought we could have had a chance to control the game. That was the most key thing, is that I thought we controlled the game fairly well the entire game against Guthrie.
And, I've asked you about Michael Graham. And who's emerged as, one of your best scoring options. And we were close to giving play of the game to Michon, just because I know there had to be a boost with those two buzzer-beating tip-ins and how aggressive he is on the offensive glass. Obviously, he's not the same player as his brother. He's, you're younger and stuff. But what can you say about specifically his development since he joined the team?
It's been great. I think they're still catching up with some of the terminology and things that we do. But for him to come in and have the impact he had in the game against Guthrie, I think it reminded me of when I used to watch him when he was at Southeast, always around the boards, getting putbacks, playing tough down there on the post. And that's what we've been needing him to do. And he started playing that way. And when he's playing and finishing shots around the basket and rebounding, he's an unbelievable athlete, just like his brother is. So that really gave us a boost, and that's going to carry it on into practice this week, and hopefully we can carry it on into tomorrow.
And what's it like seeing a couple? We mentioned to you on the air all 6 Mid-Del teams in, but I want to specifically ask you about what was it like seeing Del City girls, because they've had some down years and they came back, and then also what's it like now seeing Carl Albert girls, because your daughter will get to experience this.
Absolutely. I'm real excited for my daughter. I'm very proud of her for one, being a freshman and just getting to experience the state tournament. And that's what I told her. I said, I want you to experience that opportunity, also enjoy the atmosphere, but also stay ready. You know, and because you just never know in a playoff when your number's going to get called. And we talk about that in practice. So she's heard a lot of those speeches with me, with my players. But I'm very proud of them, and I wish them all the best. But I just can't be more happy for Coach Webb and our girls. Coach Webb and I talk on a daily basis. We've got an unbelievable relationship. I see what she does on a day-to-day basis. I know what we have to deal with on a day-to-day basis with our kids and what she's done, and she's done it the right way. And that's what I told her. I said, stick with what you've been doing. Things are going to work out, and it couldn't have been given to a better coach than her, the way she's gotten to a state tournament with the girls that she's had on this team this year.
Well, in years to come, Mike, I'm going to always think about you a little bit when Del City and Cropper girls play, because that will be an interesting matchup for you to watch, I'm sure. So the thing you have in common with Del City girls, I don't know if this is unique of all the times you made state, but losing in the regional championship and then having the expanded regional format, so you have to play an extra game against John Marshall and your old mentor, and and Coach Cudjoe, and then you got to win 2 more games. How has that affected the journey, I guess, because you're used to winning regional in an area.
Right. Well, we came in on the area consolation before at Dale City, and went to the state tournament and got beat by a very good Tulsa Memorial team. But getting there is the most important thing. Yeah. Once you get there, you can throw all the records out. You can throw all the research that you want to put down on any team. I just really feel it comes down to which team is playing their best ball at that time, and or at that game. And so us getting to this way it came in on the backside of area consolation, that really doesn't phase us or didn't bother me at all. Yeah. Did we want to win a regional championship? Absolutely. But if you think about it, the way they did this voting, we would have probably been playing Crossings anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So things change, and you have to adapt to it. And our guys are ready to compete, and we're just excited about being able to get back down to Norman.
Well, the difference is we're about to show you. Let's go ahead and show the matchup for Dell City. Is Crossings has played only 1 game since your first matchup, and you played 3. But by the time this game starts, I don't think that will matter very much. But still very interesting that it is Crossings, so a rematch from the regional championship. Of course, they're coached by Sean Schenk, who also was a coach at Edmond Santa Fe before Coach Hatchett was. 19-6 record. They actually slipped to 3rd in their district, but they were leading that district for almost the entire season. They finished 4th in the Tournament of Champions. That includes losses to very good teams in Edmond, North, and Dale. Finished 2nd in the Jinx Union tournament, losing to Tulsa Union in the final. Tulsa Union also made state. And their path to state, very impressive, beating Southeast, Dell City, and then Carl Albert over at Piedmont last week. And what was your reaction to this, Coach? Because this would not have happened in previous years. It would be West versus East.
Right.
And now you guys and also the Dell City girls have the West versus West matchup.
Right. You talking about how the rankings went?
The rankings went, and then also were we surprised at the tip-off time, 9 a.m.?
Oh, this is actually my first time playing a 9 a.m. game. I believe I did it one time while we were at Mount St. Mary's when I made state tournament. That's just what it is. I mean, you got to deal with it. Somebody's going to play at 9, especially when you're trying to make everybody play or have everybody play at a great facility at Lloyd Noble. So, I mean, that's what it is. We got to be able to adjust. Most of these kids get up on Saturday mornings and play an 8 a.m., 9 a.m. AAU game anyways, I know. So this one holds a little more weight, There was a lot of discussion that was in that meeting that we had when it came down to rankings. I don't think it was right, I just really felt that, and I was against it from the start, and just like I kind of was on districts, but what we have to do is we have to kind of put that to the side, and I think we have to focus on our teams. We have to focus on our opponent and focus on ourselves on what we need to do. I think there'll be some changes coming up in the next year, you know, because I just feel that every class and ever since I've been coaching and, it's always been predetermined, and you kind of know, and you need to reward those area winners. Those top 4 winners need to be rewarded to the point where they at least get a chance to go scout somebody on Saturday and kind of at least get familiar with maybe an opponent that you get a chance to. Yep. So I don't ever think that an area final game should be replayed as a first-round game. And it doesn't matter 5A, 6A, boys or girls, But it's what it is, and I know everybody that's in the state tournament is grateful to be in the state tournament, just like we are, and just got to be ready to compete.
I would imagine, though, your players have to be, they're losing to them at home, and now you guys are basically in the same spot they are. You're not. Yeah. There's no one that has an advantage over the other now from that, from as far as matchups and seeding and stuff.
Right.
So I have to imagine that they were excited about getting a chance to correct some things from that previous game.
Yeah, I mean, they came in pretty focused and locked in practice, and that's a huge start. When you got guys kind of giving you their intake on film that they watch and giving you feedback, that makes you feel good as a coach, and that's something that our seniors have been doing a good job of, and what we want to do is now be able to transition that out to our game plan on tomorrow morning. But our guys are hungry. I mean, we got some tough young men that don't like to lose, and when they see the opponent that they lost to before, they're going to try to do things better. And as long as they can continue to play together, be mentally tough, understand what's at stake. I've always believed in these guys since day one, and I'm excited to be able to coach them.
All right, we're excited to see it. And, yes, the tip-off time, 9 a.m., That's, again, Crossings against Del City. They played a couple weeks ago for a regional championship, and now the rematch will take place at Lloyd Noble. Again, 9 a.m. tip-off. We will have the audio portion of the game. We will show you the score, the clock, the quarter. We were not allowed to show you the game, though, but you can still tune in for free and get the updates you're looking for as Del City, again, takes on the Knights. And, again, no matter what happens in this tournament, the Del City boys basketball fundraiser will still be lasting until March 31st. And be sure to take advantage of that. Come to this Del City Buffalo Wild Wings location. Show them a picture of this. You can download it to your phone if you need help with that. Let us know. And Del City boys basketball will receive 10% of the proceeds. All right, Coach, we look forward to talking to you before the game, as we will be waking up bright and early, and maybe some yawns will be involved as well.
Sounds good. Appreciate you covering high school basketball and doing this show for us.
All right, well, we're excited about all 6 teams, including yours, so thank you.
Thank you.
We got one more team coming up. That's the Carl Albert boys team, as we'll talk to Coach Price. Coming up here in a moment on the Mid-Del Sports Report.
I want to start a car mechanic shop.
Let's say we go to Scissor Tape.
Ready to go get some coffee?
Yeah, let's go.
You got it.
I think she was from
One,
Rose State.
2, 3.
Woo-hoo!
Congratulations, Rose State college graduates.
Red Plains Plumbing has been offering reliable commercial and residential services to the OKC metro area for over a decade. From new construction and remodeling to residential repair, they can handle jobs of all sizes. When you need a trusted name in plumbing, it's Red Plains Plumbing. Family owned and operated. Phone 405-769-1922. That's 405-769-1922.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
call Rob and Will.
Experience the best wash in town at Tommy's Express. You'll love our open and bright tunnels, easy loading flat belt conveyor, unlimited membership, and free vacuums and mat washers. Experience the difference and visit Tommy's Express today.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business, and always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. Call them at 405-642-8558.
Marcus James takes the pass under the basket, lays that one in.
That's going to do it. So we got another Mid-Del State team. It's the Carl Albert boys basketball team. They pulled it off. Make that 14 in a row for Jay Price.
Elizondo pulls a three just before the buzzer sounds. A 9-point lead, and we'll call it a 9-point win for Carl Albert, 58-49.
All right, welcome back to the Mid-Del Sports Report on the Oklahoma Sports Network. All right, we got one more entry into the state tournament to talk to. That is Carl Albert boys. You just saw the very ending of their game this past Saturday against Del Reno. They won that game by the same score of the Del City game the following game there. So both teams winning by a score of 57-49. In Carl Albert's case, they beat El Reno for the third time to get to state for the 14th straight time. And now I get to talk to their head coach, Jay Price. Coach, and I didn't ask you about this after the game, but what was the mood of the team? I'll ask it that way after the Crossings loss heading into the El Reno game.
Well, disappointing for sure. We'd already played them twice, and we split with them, even though they held large leads in both games. And at their place, they finished it off. At ours, we were fortunate enough to come back and beat them in the fourth quarter right at the end of the game. And so, we felt like we'd kind of figured some things out, and we played a little better game. And we really played a really good first half. We let things get away a little in the third quarter and then fought our way back to cut it to 5. And so, when you expend that kind of energy physically, you also expend a lot of emotional energy. So when you end up losing after a game like that and you've competed hard and done all that stuff, it's tough to face. But we, as a coaching staff, we immediately changed the tone, And it wasn't like they were doing something wrong. It's just we don't have time to pout about this. When we walk out of the locker room, it's done. We prepare for the game tomorrow, whoever it's going to be, and you just have to do that. You can't dwell on it because it's not your last game. You still got a game to go, and you got a chance to get to the state tournament, and that's everybody's goal is to get there no matter how, no matter what it takes, and, that's what you want to try to do. So it was, they were down. They were upset because we felt like we really didn't play the best game for 32 minutes that we could have. But, man, you just can't sit there and worry about it. You got to get over it and get ready for the next one. So that's what we tried to do and really get things upbeat again and talk about the positives of what the next day was going to be like and things like that.
And in the El Reno game, I was once again impressed with Jaden Hopkins because it appeared El Reno was, they're well coached and all that, fundamentally sound, but Jaden Hopkins was able to still penetrate their defense even when they had 2 or 3 guys in help. He just outquicked them.
Yeah.
And so, again, it feels like he keeps taking this game to another level. But how did you see it?
Yeah, absolutely. Early on he was got some things going for us and allowed us to kind of set the tone a little bit. And, we gave him – when he plays really hard defensively, he can have a little more freedom to do some things on offense because – he's kind of in that mindset, and, we challenged him to do that and really be a nemesis on their guards, and he did a good job. Later on in the game he got in foul trouble, and we didn't have him on the floor, and we had a pretty good lead, and then we lost it there in the third quarter. We were able to extend it again later on, and, I kept looking up the clocks thinking, okay, I got to get him on the floor. I got to get him back on the floor, and, every coach knows that you kind of use the 4-minute mark as a basis, to put a guy in with foul trouble. But I even ran it by my assistants. I said, hey, man, there's 6 minutes left. We want to throw Jade. We want to go ahead and get him out there. And they're like, we might better wait a little bit longer, which they were right. But still, I was like, man, I got to get him back on the floor because he really created not only just shots for himself, but by getting in the lane like that, he really created some shots for some other guys and some matchup problems. And so, he was really solid for us.
Yeah, you had a 10-point lead in the third quarter. They came back. I think they briefly led by a point.
Yeah.
This was around the time he got his 4th foul, which was kind of a bang-bang play. But I thought the key part was once they started to make a run and you guys had trouble scoring without him, you called a timeout, and that is when you guys started to figure out some things without Jaden on the floor. What went into that, what you said in the timeout, and what happened afterwards?
Well, I felt like we were really hurrying things, and for one, you don't want to do that with a lead because you want to try to take as much time off the clock as you can and still score. We don't want to. We weren't going to pull it out. Obviously, it's in the third quarter, but we kind of got complacent and started taking some quick shots. And I don't think we were working very hard. And, the reason we hadn't had to do that earlier is Jaden was beating them off the dribble and getting into the lane and creating some issues, so we weren't really having to move our offense a whole lot. Well, that's what our discussion was about is stop hurrying it, stop trying to force things, let the offense come to you, move your bodies, move the ball, just start creating some rhythm and some motion for yourself, and things will work out. And I think right after they were up 1, we ran about 6 or 8, maybe 10 passes in a possession and hit a 3 or got an and one. I can't remember. It was a 3-point play or it was a 3 we hit and took a 2-point lead, and then we never looked back after that. So it was just kind of get their minds right. You know, we knew we had been doing some good things, and then it's kind of like we went away from it for a few minutes, you know, and that happens a lot. You just have to kind of refocus and say, look, you know, let's do these things and let's stay with it. And so our kids did a good job of responding to that and building the lead back up and, you know, giving us a little breathing room to be able to be a little more strategic, you know, with our possessions.
Yeah, and Quincy, he didn't shoot the ball well, he even said so at first, but I thought in the second half he played a lot better in spite of his shots not going in.
Yeah, hey, he has just continued to grow and grow and grow as a leader and as a player for us. I mean, and anybody that's been around the game of basketball, you know, so there's going to be nights you don't shoot it well. But if you're the type of kid that is a competitor and a leader, then you start to do all the other things and not let that bury you. You know, the fact that you're not shooting it well. And he found some ways to score late. And I'm telling you, rebounding-wise, he dominated the second half on the boards on both ends. I thought he was really, really good rebounding. And, you know, when you're not scoring, you got to find another area, and he did. You know, he defended really well all night, played really good defense.
Had to defend Romanos.
Yeah, Romanos, and that dude can play. And so I was really proud of Quincy and doing some of the other aspects if scoring's not always the option, you know. And of course, we look to him to score, and we will this weekend, and hopefully it's through the weekend. But, you know, he's been solid for us, and he was solid for us that day.
And I know there's a problem in the Crossings game. I was told that Marcus got in foul trouble some, and then you had Steven in this game. What's important when it comes to how a player's mentality with foul trouble? Like, there's some things that you don't want them to keep doing, but you still want them to play hard. I mean, how do you approach coaching guys through foul trouble?
Sure. Well, I mean, in the game of basketball, especially as physical as it is nowadays, and in the playoffs even more so, you're going to get fouls. It's the dumb fouls that we try to talk about.
Yeah.
The reaching fouls, the slapping fouls, you know, those kinds of things that an official is obviously going to call, you know, and sometimes you have to foul. Like if a guy's going to get an easy basket, you're going to make sure he doesn't score, so you got to take that foul, you know, and put him on the free throw line instead. But it's the silly, dumb fouls that are the ones that get you in trouble. And so we try to talk about that and, you know, getting your body in the right position, don't reach and grab and things like that. And, you know, Marcus has been a really good addition for us. If we had him longer, I think he would learn some of those things and some of the techniques maybe that might keep him out of foul trouble, but he's just so physical and strong that a lot of times it looks like he's fouling when he's just being physical, you know. But so we've talked about some of those things with all of them, even with Jaden, you know, hey, don't reach. You don't reach and grab. You're going to get some fouls regardless. If we're playing hard, you're going to foul, but don't get the dumb ones that's going to make you have to sit on the bench.
All right, we're going to.
No, that's it. Yeah,
all
that's
right.
what I was saying.
Let's look at the opponent for Carl Albert. This is a familiar one. This is a noon tip-off tomorrow, so kind of an early start. We'll get to that. But Holland Hall is the opponent. This was a second-round matchup last year in state, semifinals that Carl Albert won. Holland Hall continues to do well in 5A, this time playing a full 5A schedule with a record of 22-3. They went third in the Enola Jerry O'Quinn tournament. No idea what that is, but you know, that's pretty good, I'm sure. Third in the Deer Creek tournament. I know about that. And they lost, but Deer Creek by only 4, and that's a team that made state in 6A. For regionals, they beat Pryor, then Coweta, and then outslugged Collinsville by a familiar score, I believe, 57-49. And that got them to the tournament. Coach, I remember last year, Holland Hall, I think they had a really good player with the last name Cool.
Yes.
And I thought their two best players were seniors, but obviously, even if that was the case, they've either brought in a couple new guys or their returning players have gotten a lot better or something like that.
Right.
What do you see in them?
For the most part, it's returning players for them. You know, the Cool kid was really, really solid and, you know, great player. But also, you know, the kid coming back is just – he was tremendous. I mean, he could really score it. And, you know, it's going to be tough to guard him. He shoots the ball really well. He's a big body. And, you know, they run a lot of stuff through him. And then the Wilson kid, number 1, we played against him last year as well. And I think he was a freshman last year. And you could kind of tell, you know, he was a little nerve-ridden, you know, during the game. And probably didn't play the best game that he wanted to. But we've seen some film on him. We've heard about him and watched some games. And he's really, really good. I mean, he can really score it. You know, they got some good role players that are tough around the bucket. You know, their guards handle the ball for them. And So, it's going to be a tough game. They've got kids that can score it. They got some big bodies. They're very well coached. They play hard, and as you would expect when you get to the state tournament, you're going to play somebody really solid and really good. And, I mean, you look at their record, and it's, I think they're pretty proven over the year of what they've been able to accomplish. So, yeah, it's going to be a tough one.
What was it like helping out with, I guess you helped out with seeding, because this is probably a matchup that would happen with the old format for you, because you guys got to state on a Saturday with a loss in the playoffs. Holland Hall went 3-0. But this is unique in some other matchups that took place. So was it just you simply submitted your rankings? Was that pretty much all there was to it?
So there was an original format where it was predetermined with a certain area winner would play the east side area loser. And then the same with the West. The east side winner would play a west side loser.
Right.
And so we get the east-west matchup. Well, we had some discussion about just doing a ranking and ranking 1 to 8, and you play 1 and 8, 2, 7, 3, 6, 4, 5. And, at the time that we did it, I don't remember us coming to a final decision, and we were still going to discuss it. And then, this is what came down from the OSSAA. So basically what it was is you just rank the teams 1 to 8, which is really hard. Well, actually, it was 1 to 7. You don't rank yourself. And that's very difficult because you look at some teams that, may have had a great year all year long, and then like Booker T. Booker T was, I think, in my opinion, the number one team on the east side all year long. They only had one loss, and then they lose an area. Then they got to come back. Well, do you look at that and say, well, they shouldn't be the number one team now because they lost an area? But if you look at their overall record and what they did throughout the season and what they did in their district, I mean, you got to put some credence to that, And so I think it made it really hard for everybody. But the way we were instructed was to rank the teams 1 to 8. It didn't matter whether they won their area or not, which kind of stinks for some teams that, you win your area and you may not get, the notoriety that you feel like you should get. And, even for us, we won our district, which I think is one of the toughest districts in 5A. And we end up being a 5 seed, because we came through the loser side maybe. I don't know what everybody's determination for that is, and I don't care. I mean, it doesn't matter. Everybody has their opinion of where they think everybody should be ranked, and I ranked it with my opinion, and that's the way it fell together. So I don't know if everybody liked the format necessarily, and I'd be surprised if we stay with that exact format again because I don't think it's the best way to bracket it. I think we should go east-west regardless. However we figure that out, and I think that'd be best for us in the future. But this year it was the first year to do it, so that's the way it worked out. And actually looking at it, I really think if we used the other format, we would have played Holland Hall anyway.
I agree. I think it's Del City that has a unique matchup. But, Midwest City probably would have played Collinsville, and very likely you would have played Holland Hall. And I'm actually I'm kind of glad that Booker T's not playing a Mid-Del team in the first round. So, all right. Well, Coach, same to you. We wish you the best, and we were looking forward to watching how your team does again. 14 years in a row, and the noon tip-off. I don't know how often you've played that early in state before, but
we've played a early day. We played a 10:30 game one year. Never had to play the 9 o'clock, which is kind of nice. But when we played the 10:30 game, we got our kids up at a certain time. We got them breakfast. We went through our normal pregame routines. We got them to the gym, and you just forget about what time of day it is once you get to the gym. And I think that's how it's going to be. We're going to go through our routine and do the stuff we do if we were going to play at 7:30 at night and get them ready to go. So it'll be fun. I mean, it's always exciting to be here and be a part of the tournament. And hopefully we can play well tomorrow and advance on. But, it's hard to do, and we're hoping we play well enough to be able to do that.
Yeah, we feel the same way. And just to remind you guys, again, an audio broadcast of noon tip-off. You will tune in and see the score, the quarter, how much time is left. And Josh Calloway and I will describe the game. Carl Albert and Holland Hall, a rematch from the state semifinals last year. And so one more time we want to show you the fundraising card for Carl Albert boys basketball. Between now and March 31st, come to Buffalo Wild Wings, Del City, show them this picture. If you need help downloading it on your phone, let us know. And Carl Albert boys basketball will receive 10% of the proceeds. And then, see, Matt, if you can find what I put in there before for the final schedule for tomorrow's game. So we're going to talk about it while we show it on the air. So things will get started for us at 9 a.m. Del City taking on Crossings Christian. And then a noon tip-off again for Carl Albert and Holland Hall. This is all on boys' side. Boys go first, followed by 1:30 game between Midwest City and Collinsville. A little bit of a gap, and then the girls' matchup start 4:30. Carl Albert and Sapulpa. 6, Midwest City and Booker T. And the final Mid-Del game we'll have for you will be Del City girls taking on El Reno at 7:30. And then, how about this, some bonus baseball. Midwest City at Carl Albert. We're really glad to have a couple of announcers who can take care of that game while I'm in the Lloyd Noble. So that game has been moved to a 7 o'clock start, but you will see video of that game. So a lot going on tomorrow, and whoever wins will have their games Friday and then Saturday if it comes to that as well. So thanks all the head coaches. All 6 showed up. What an exciting time for Mid-Del. 6 varsity teams in the state tournament. All 6 head coaches showed up. We really appreciate them a lot. We look forward to covering their games tomorrow. And, again, you've been watching the Mid-Del Sports Report on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Thanks for watching this presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.